Hey guys, welcome back to Toon Blend 3D. Now, we are going to continue with the UV unwrapping process for the stylized Crocogun. Okay, let's get started. First, switch to the UV editing layout. Then start by selecting one of the meshes. Separate any mesh parts that can be separated. Next, move on to the long pipe. Before making any changes, make sure to temporarily disable the child of constraints. After separating the mesh, enable the child of constraints again and update them if needed. Next, we can organize the meshes into groups based on their location, although this step is optional. After that, add a mirror modifier to any mesh that doesn't already have one. This will ensure the texture remains symmetrical on both the left and right sides of the mesh. Next, for the fastest UV unwrapping method, we could simply select all meshes. Then switch to Edit mode. Press U and choose Smart UV Project. Adjust the island margin value, then click Unwrap. Blender will automatically unwrap and map all the meshes. However, since this model contains many separate meshes, we'll use a UDIM workflow instead. So let's start with the head. Begin by selecting edges on the mesh. These edges will become the cut lines for the UVs. Place them in areas where the mesh can naturally be split. The process is similar to adding mark sharp edges earlier. After selecting the edges, press U and choose Mark Seam. Then unwrap the mesh by pressing U and selecting Unwrap Angle Based. The unwrap result will appear in the UV editor on the left. Next, move on to the fangs. Here, I'm trying to unwrap them in a way that avoids any UV stretching. If you notice any stretched faces, try fixing them by pressing Ctrl+T to triangulate the face. Then select all mesh faces. After that, unwrap the mesh again. Once you're satisfied with the result, you can convert the triangulated faces back by using triangles to quads or by pressing Alt+J. However, it's always a good idea to remember the original topology beforehand. The result from triangles to quads may not always match the original topology perfectly. Then, continue adjusting and fixing any areas that still need improvement. Once everything looks good, use average island scale. This will normalize the texel density across all UV islands. Then, if you want to organize the UV layout automatically, use Pack Islands. Adjust the margin value, then click Pack. This will arrange the UV islands automatically. Next, let's add a checker map. Here, I'm using the UV Toolkit add-on. Adjust the checker size and choose the pattern type you want. After that, click Create Checker Material. This makes it much easier to spot stretched UVs. If the checker lines appear bent or distorted, it means those faces are experiencing UV stretching. Once you've finished checking the UVs, you can disable the checker map or switch back using toggle material. Next, you can see that a single UV tile is only enough for the head section. So let's add more UV tiles. To do that, add additional tiles along the X and Y directions. Adjust the number based on your needs. For this project, I'll add 5 tiles horizontally and 3 rows vertically. Then, you can still arrange the UVs automatically by using Pack Islands. Just enable Pack the closest UDIM before packing. Next, move on to the lower jaw mesh. Follow the same workflow as before. Start by selecting the edges where you want the UV cuts to be. Then mark them as seams. After that, unwrap the mesh. Check the result and fix any stretched faces if needed. Once everything looks good, move the UV islands to the next UDIM tile. Then organize the UV islands automatically by enabling closest UDIM packing. Then, adjust the layout manually, if necessary, to make better use of the available space. After that, create a checker map and inspect the UVs for any stretching or distortion. Next, repeat the same process for the remaining meshes. Then continue by marking the seams, unwrapping the mesh, checking for stretching, organizing the UV islands, and verifying everything with the checker map until all meshes are properly unwrapped. After finishing the UV unwrapping process, let's continue by fixing the mesh shading. If some marked sharp edges are not placed correctly, you can remove and adjust them. Pay special attention to areas such as the claws and fangs. Then, the same applies to the long pipe. If it's difficult to achieve smooth shading using Shade Smooth alone, try using Shade Auto Smooth instead. Then, go to the modifier settings. After that, enable Ignore Sharpness, then adjust the angle value. Keep adjusting it until the shading on the long pipe appears smooth and clean. Then do the same for the smaller pipes. With that, the UV unwrapping process is complete. Next, we'll move on to the texturing stage, combining hand-painted details on specific areas with Blender's texture generation features using UDIM Paint. If you've followed along this far, your Crocogun is now fully prepared for the texturing workflow. Like, share, and subscribe to see more content and support the channel. Thank you for watching from the beginning, and see you next time.